Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Friday edition of the On the Go Post Show with your Go Morning team. I'm Danielle Wiggins with Dave Chudowski, Holly Strano, Maureen Kyle, Austin Love, and Jasmine Monroe. The entire team is here because guess what we're doing? Preparing for Sunday. So let us know if you're pumped up in the comments section. But first, before we start talking the Browns, we have to get to Holly because Holly, you're tracking some winter weather moving in.
Yeah, so today's going to be the transitional day, and we'll start with rain and then see a changeover to snow. This morning, like right now, as you're watching, it's pretty quiet. So if you do have errands to run and things like that, I'd advise earlier as opposed to later. And then we will see the changeover to all snow late morning into the afternoon from west to east. And then into the evening, it'll become more scattered. Accumulation isn't going to be a lot. It'll be around an inch or so, but it's timing. Friday's such a busy day. I feel like, a lot of you are running your errands and maybe, you're heading to the grocery store for stuff for the Browns game on Sunday or whatever the case may be. So this morning is definitely easier commuting. And then we're back to reality. 30s for highs over the weekend, which is where we should be. Some scattered snow and flurries, and it looks like we'll hold that pattern into next week, guys.
So a great day to be indoors to watch
Heck
the
yeah.
game. But safe,
cozy.
be safe, be safe, be safe. You don't want to transmit COVID-19. Okay, thank you, Holly, for that. And now we talk the Brownies. What are your predictions for the game? Put it in the comment section. Dave, you broke it down this morning on the Go Show. Let us know, what are the keys to the game for the Browns?
Well, I think the key is the defense. The Browns are a 10-point underdog. Now, remember, they were an underdog to the Steelers as well, 6 points. You're going to have fans in the stands this time, about 17,000. I really think not having fans in the stands last week helped the Browns. I mean, you really took away that home field edge for the Steelers. So you'll have a little bit of that with Kansas City. That's a loud place, let me tell you, but it won't be as loud as it typically is. Offensively, the Browns are going to score. I have faith in that. With that running attack, the way Baker's playing, I think they can hang with them offensively. My concern is trying to stop the Kansas City offense, and that's what teams struggle to do. They were 14-2. One of their losses was the last week of the year. They didn't play their starters. So you got to figure out a way to stop the best quarterback in the league, Patrick Mahomes. He's the reigning MVP, defending Super Bowl champs, right? And the receivers are incredible. They have Tyreek Hill, one of the fastest guys in the NFL. It's 17 touchdowns this year. You got to find a way to contain him. And what they're going to have a problem doing, and I don't want to get too inside football here, but while you're watching the game, think about this, okay? They have to figure out a way to contain Tyreek Hill, to not let him get over the top. But here's the problem. If you keep your defense back to contain him from going deep, then Travis Kelce is just going to kill you, and he's the tight end. And only one person in the NFL had more receiving yards than Travis Kelce, and that was Diggs on Buffalo. You're talking about a tight end here. That's really unheard of. No tight end has ever had more yards in a season than Travis Kelce. He's from Cleveland Heights, which Jasmine will talk about here in a moment, and he is just a beast. So you got to figure out a way to stop those guys. Plus, they can do it all. So really, it comes down to, can the Browns defense hang with the offense? If they can, if they can somewhat contain them, because they're not going to stop them. It's going to be a high-scoring game. If they can somewhat contain them, you get some turnovers, that's how the Browns win the game.
Okay, we're hearing from you here in Facebook land. And remember, we're on YouTube as well. So I'll have to flip over to YouTube to see if we have some comments there. But Dawn Broadway says it will be a tough game, but they have had a charmed season so far. Shayla Smith, she's predicting Browns 40, Chiefs 30. And then, Paul, he says Browns going down this time. Mahomes is the real deal. KC 40, Browns 21. And Jasmine, you have someone who loves the Browns fan, but they're rooting for KC this game. And you had that this morning on the Go Show. Tell us about that interesting Browns fan.
So I love this story because I just love when people give back. So Frank Clark went to Glenville High School, and he's from California, but he moved out here with his father. So he grew up here in the Cleveland area, and I got a chance to meet Zed. Zeddy Adams is Frank Clark's one of his good friends. They talk all the time on the phone. Last year, he was at the playoff games. Due to COVID, he can't go to this playoff game because he said he would be there. But pretty much he just described like, oh, he's torn in between the two. Last weekend, he was rooting for the Browns against the Steelers. This week, he has to take that hat off and put on his Casey hat to support who he calls his brother, Frank Clark. And this is, it's something, to me, it's funny because we talk about so many people who grew up here in the Cleveland area who go elsewhere or they try to play for the Browns. So I asked Zed, I was like, did he really want to play for the Browns or, how does it go? And he said, he loves where he's playing now. And Dave, we were talking about the trash talk. And I said, Kansas City keeps it classy. I was like, what is he saying? That like, what does he want me to tell Cleveland? Because I'll tell him. And he's like, no, it's not between him and Cleveland. He still loves his city because he grew up here. And he said that grit, everything he learns from Cleveland, he brings it on the field. So, he's just ready for the game. He said he's in a competition between himself. He said me versus me. I think that is what his quote was. And he said he needs a second ring. And that was it. So I don't think that's trash talk. I just think that's his reality. I mean, you're the reigning champ and you got to defend what's yours.
Jasmine, is interesting. You have been saying for a while that KC is classy. And we did hear from Patrick Mahomes, their superstar quarterback. And he really did talk well of Baker Mayfield, saying he was excited to play him. Baker Mayfield got the best of him in college. But, I was like, wow, he was so nice.
They're a classy team. I was watching, I did so much research on Frank Clark. Dave, you would probably know him going to high school here in Glenville. He just talked about listening to, the older folks, the older players in the team telling him, don't spend all your money on that crazy stuff. Focus on the game, focus. He's just a family oriented person and he's really a great person. Zed mentioned in the interview how much he just gives back to his community. He started a Frank Clark boot camp at Glenville. I think it's just incredible to not forget where you came from because a lot of times people, when you grow up in those tough, gritty areas, you kind of don't want to go back because you know how hard it is in those areas, but he comes back and they still love him here at home.
Yeah, well, KC has a few of our Cleveland stars on their team. We wish they could be playing for the Browns. But I tell you, Austin, you have somebody who's amazing. He doesn't play for the Browns, but, he's here to get all of us pumped up.
Yeah, he doesn't play for the Browns, but has probably seen every Browns snap since he's been 5 years old. It's my guy, Dannyreich, but he doesn't go by Dannyreich. He goes by Danny Cleveland. That sums him up. He is the epitome of a Cleveland fan, has been through everything that all the heartbreak, all the ups and downs, and there has been a lot of downs here in Cleveland, of course, and he's gone through all of that. But he right now has in front of his house in West Park, it's at 162 in Edgecliff, a 30-foot Browns flag that was actually on the old Browns, old municipal stadium way back in the day, ended up getting this and has been flying it in front of his house for the past year. And as the Browns have gotten more success, more people are, it's gotten a lot more attention. So people are taking pictures with this, and he realized that with how many people are coming to his house, he said just last Sunday after the game, 150 people were taking pictures in front of his house, not all together, but at some point throughout the day. And so he's asking everyone that comes to his house to take a picture, and everyone's invited. He says, he told me, he gave out his address to go there and bring a can of food and put it in the back of his truck. And then he's going to take that, and you'll know his truck because it has the Browns orange and white and brown stripes on the hood of it. So it's very clear to see. Put a can in there of food, and then he's going to donate that to the Cleveland Food Bank. He's already donated a few hundred pounds. I think it was 600 pounds of food he's already been able to donate to the Cleveland Food Bank. And then also last week, he raised $2,000 by jumping into Lake Erie, all for the Cleveland Food Bank. Saw a need in his community. Yeah, saw the need in his community and is certainly stepping up to do it. And Just, I mean, a Clevelander. You know, he goes by Danny Cleveland, so he definitely
everyone
lives
wants
up
to meet
to
this
the
guy
name.
now. There's no doubt.
Absolutely, and he is an electric factory. Honestly, he is a riot, and is even planning hopefully that COVID is a much less thing in his mind. In September, he's planning this, hopefully by then, this huge party the Friday before the first Browns game of next year, and is literally inviting everyone to say, hey, come on, we'll have a few adult sodas. So the guy's the man.
Adult sodas?
Yeah, also known as Bud Light, Miller Lite, some type of beer, alcohol, beverage, something like that. But yeah, he's a riot. And yeah, so go check him out and take a picture. We have the story on our Instagram website, the whole deal. You're going to fall in love with Danny Cleveland. I promise you.
What's the address again, Austin?
Let's see. It's at the corner of West 162 and Edgecliff in West Park. So, and you'll see it. Trust me, it's a huge flag that he has there, and he's the man, and has actually had to talk about. He told me that he's had to take this down at night because so many people drive by his house in the middle of the night and blare on their horn and scream like "Go Brownies!" Even when we were doing the interview yesterday, throughout the whole thing, people driving by honking their horns. Before every one of my live shots this morning, at least 2 or 3 people drove by, and this is at 5 a.m.
Mo, is that you going by driving, honking?
Yeah.
While is that you,
5
Mo?
a.m.? I have an alibi for 5 a.m. That was not. I have 1,000 alibis.
Maureen, really quickly before we leave, because we know you got to get to the Today Show. What are you most looking forward to for Sunday's game?
Sunday's game, you know what? I mean, lately we're not getting together with friends or anything like that, but we've gotten together with my parents, and I can tell you, there's no one better in the world to watch a football game with other than Coach Kyle. He breaks it down. The predictions are spot on. And it's more like he doesn't get excited about it, but he'll tell you exactly what's happening in a very calm tone. And he'll say, hey, this guy's going to run this way, and then they got to do this, and then no. It's always fun to actually, it's my husband, Mark, who loves to just sit and have an adult beverage, a steak, and watch the Browns.
Doesn't
Mark
I don't know.
we might do that.
Flag out like that, like Danny Cleveland, Mark Cleveland.
No, no. I'm in charge of decorating at my house.
That's what I was getting.
And of course, legendary Coach Kyle, if you didn't know, is Mo's daddy.
Yeah.
Maureen, I had to tell you something really quick. Me and my boyfriend, he was telling me about your dad, and I was like, that's Maureen's dad. And he's like, are you serious? Like, he's a legend. I'm like, yeah, her name is Maureen Kyle. And he's like, oh my God, like, we got to get together. Can we wear a mask? What can we do?
Anytime. He loves to host. He wants to talk football with anybody. Come on over. We're going to have once we all get vaccinations.
He coached us one time.
He's Coach Kyle Cleveland. All righty, everybody. We will see you next week or Monday. Hopefully, we're cheering on the Browns for a win. Have a great weekend. Go Browns.
See you guys.
See you guys.